Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last episode, we started a summation examination, I broke a cup, all kinds of crazy things happened. In this episode, we will hopefully not break a cup, especially considering that I don't have any more breakable cups around. I do have a breakable plate though. Probably should move this onto the floor before I break it too. God. Alright. No breaking things for the rest of this episode. But yeah, we're gonna just jump right back in here and take a quick look at this sixth juror's statement. So he knocked himself out slipping on Calabash Road. Oops. Oh, interesting. And where is Calabash Road? Real quick. Oh, interesting. Well, that guy slipped and knocked himself out on Calabash Road. It's not Briar Road. I'm gonna go ahead and try pitting these two together and see what happens. Might lose a point here. You know what? Let's back out. Do the lovely process of saving so that I don't lose health for this. So yeah. And
objection.
Hey, we got something. Those two statements clearly show a flaw in the juror's reasoning. A flaw? What are you talking about, counsel? Well, juror number 2, juror number 6. Yeah, this is definitely incorrect, I think.
My, whatever do you mean, sir?
I think perhaps the old man didn't hear you. Unbelievable. It's not like I was loud or anything. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure. Jesus Christ. This game is so good at manipulating whether or not you get something right or not. I mean, like, the music cuts out. That makes me think that I'm right. But there's statements of like, well, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about at the beginning every single time. Man, it throws me for a loop every single time. There's at least one fact of which we can be sure here. The bookshop receipt found in the defendant's room clearly indicates that on the day of the attack, he had been to your books and purchased a number of secondhand titles. He then returned home on foot.
But the man says he has no recollection of his return journey.
That's correct. But what he does remember is seeing someone appear in front of him on the way. Someone in a green overcoat who suddenly collapsed on the pavement before... Oh my god, it was the fucking old man.
Yes, we are well aware of all this. The poor young woman who was stabbed, obviously.
Objection! Can we really be sure of that, madam?
My, whatever do you mean?
I'm sure you heard juror number 6's account of what happened to him on that day. That same afternoon, there was somebody else apart from the victim, who was wearing a green overcoat and who fell over on the icy streets in the neighborhood.
Oh my!
My goodness, you mean? That's right. I'm referring to, of course, to hard of hearing juror number 6.
Are you really suggesting that the person in the green overcoat whom the defendant saw collapse in front of his eyes was the jolly old gentleman on the end of the bench here with me today?
That is entirely possible, yes. After all, the old man has a somewhat similar build to the victim. Well, look at that. My goodness me.
Sorry, you need a pee?
I hate this. I hate it. And crucially, we know precisely where the old man in the green overcoat fell.
On Calabash Road.
Therefore, if the person who Mr. Natsume saw collapsing in front of him was in fact juror number 6, it means the defendant must have taken the lawn route back to his lodgings. And if that's true, then clearly The crime scene on Briar Road where the woman was stabbed was not on his way home.
Oh my!
You idiot, old man. If you hadn't been so daft as to be roaming about there, we'd have boxed this off hours ago.
And really, what were you thinking wearing such a befuddling coat?
What did you say to me?
Is it a crime for the elderly to walk the streets these days? Is it a crime to slip over the ice? Is it a crime to keep up with the latest styles and wear a beautiful green overcoat, is it? My lord, I do hope it won't cause any inconvenience, but...
You'd like to change your leaning, I presume?
I do declare that I would. I should like to call for a verdict of not guilty.
Thank you.
And I would too.
What?
Is it a crime to change your mind? Is it? Well...
Boom shakalaka, we're on fire. Well, that summation examination has concluded with a rather large shift in opinion. The eyes 2, the nose 4. So the nose have it. Not guilty, they say. Which means we no longer have a consensus among the members of the jury. The trial will continue.
Objection!
Oh boy. Not happy with that shit, I see. Could it seem churlish of me to drink from my hollow chalice moments after raising an objection, only to crush it in disgust? Pray, forgive the discourtesy. Back at it again at Krispy Kreme with your fucking dumb bullshit, I see. Lord Van Zieks! It seems I must retract my earlier remark. What do you mean? I mistakenly credited these jurors with intelligence by describing them as insightful. Yet we have just witnessed them falling for a cheap trick performed by an Eastern entertainer. Eh?
Whatever do you mean?
Objection!
I haven't tricked anyone. Everything I've said is the truth. Indeed, stalwart juror number 5 was undoubtedly repairing the road, as he claims. I believe you said it was a good 2 yards of the pavement which you had excavated, sir. That's right. It took me the whole day and they paid me a measly 2 pence for it. Now, my learned Nipponese friend, tell me. Do you have any notion of the distance that 2 yards represents? Well, if I'm honest, I don't have a clue, no. Yeah, I don't know what the measurements they use over there is.
2 yards is a little less than 2 meters.
Less than 2 meters? That's not much at all. In other words, a distance readily vaulted by anyone of moderate vigor. Would you not agree, my stalwart friend? Me? Well, I can't say you're wrong, no. What? And did you perchance erect a sign to prevent pedestrians from passing the site of your works? I wouldn't dream of it. What a waste of time. No coaches would have had a hope of passing anyway, and we just turn any gentlefolk back when they come. Kids just jump right over us all the time. The accused is no gentleman as far as I can see. I have little doubt, however, that he could spring over a 2-yard trench in his meanderings about town.
Ah! Is that true, is it?
The incontrovertible truth is that the books just purchased by the accused were found at the scene. There can be no doubt that on his way back to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume walked down Briar Road. I mean, yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. Are they the exact same books that were part of the list? Can we tell? No, we can't. unfortunately. Just the magnifying glass. We haven't checked this yet either. Let me check this real quick. Flick. I don't see anything weird about it. I can't find anything out of place. What is this? Oh, okay. Huh. Yeah, no. I can't find anything out of place on that knife yet. Uh-oh. Crushed in a single sentence. And, old man.
Cold man? You can talk.
I'm confused by that line. You say that around 5 o'clock on the day in question, you slipped and fell on Calabash Road. Pray, was there a suspicious-looking Nipponese behind you at the time?
Oh, I can't say as I remember.
You don't remember? How about a wager, my learned friend? You say it was this old man that the accused saw, but I would lay 1,000 to 1 against you being able to prove it. We need more testimony, I think.
Order! Lord Van Zieks, explain yourself.
My lord?
If you had such a trenchant argument up your sleeve, why in the world did you not prefer it during the summation examination?
Well, he can't say anything during the summation examination. That's how the proceeding works. It's only the defense can speak during the summation examination. The prosecution can't say anything. I wanted to give this young foreign student the sightseeing experience he no doubt came for. I wanted him to see for himself how the opinion of the jury is so readily swayed. But my hospitality has its limits, and they have been reached, I feel. Ah, yes. The removal of the cape. So, my learned friend, today's sightseeing tour of London is now over. What are you talking about? My lord! The prosecution requests permission to call its next witnesses to the stand.
Granted. Bailiff, bring forth the witnesses.
Its next witnesses? Mr. Naruhodo, do you not remember? We've been told on several occasions that there were eyewitnesses to the incident. Yes, I remember. One of them being a Scotland Yard policeman, no less. I'm afraid that that's likely to be the prosecution's next witness. Alright, no matter who Van Zieks brings to the stand as his witnesses, and no matter what they say, I believe in Soseki-san. I know he's innocent, and I'll keep believing to the very end, until this battle is over. I have a feeling that one of the witnesses is going to be the, oh, maybe not. So we have a magical girl and a sleepy boy. This is going to be interesting. Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court. Oh boy. They're lovers, aren't they? This is interesting.
Constable Rolly Beats, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir.
And I'm Mrs. Beat. Patricia's my name. I'm proud to say that I'm this young town hero's wife.
He seems kind of lackadaisical. What's the story here?
Well, in truth, we've not been married long. In fact, we celebrated our first anniversary only the other day.
No, it was your husband I was asking about. He seems tired. Hardly surprising. Whilst being an honorable occupation, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world. Oh, really? I'm sure I've heard that before, actually.
Indeed, apart from rare days off, our gallant officers trudge some 20 miles a day, you know.
They patrol boarding houses and pubs, collect taxes, survey the streets, check that meters are reading true, and they're responsible for keeping the streets clean and lighting and extinguishing our street lights. Wait, I thought that there were carriages. Are you telling me that they have... I'm guessing that's like power and gas meters and not parking meters. Like, you know, you would expect a police officer to have to mess with doing all the dirty work that it seems that they're making them do.
There are a number of items on that list that don't sound much like policing duties at all.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't just be falling asleep on my feet, I'd have collapsed long ago. But it goes without saying that a policeman's primary duty is the apprehension of criminals. Even when he's off duty, a constable is expected to investigate and resolve any crimes on his beat. For the London Bobby is a man of honor. And a man of slumber. On the day in question, this man and his wife were walking down Briar Road in the opposite direction, and they witnessed the incident as it occurred. Is that not correct, Mr. and Mrs. Beat?
That's right, sir. Isn't it, Rolly?
Constable Rolly Beats, sir. Nothing to report on the streets, sir.
What a great witness he's going to be. I like his little music that he has. Very well. I'd like to hear your formal testimonies now, please. You will tell the court exactly what you saw on the afternoon of the incident.
Yes, sir.
It seems like he's been through quite a lot, considering his Bobby is rather damaged in multiple places. Yeah, he looks like he's been through quite a lot. I do like the scarf that's connecting both of them, though. That's cute.
It was our wedding anniversary, and Rolly was taking me out for a meal. There was no time to change after work. Anyway, two silhouettes appeared out of the fog on the pavement in front of us. All of a sudden, one of them just collapsed on the floor, and the other scattered something before running off. We ran straight over, of course, and then went for help at a nearby police box. It was definitely that Japanese man in the dock. Rolly and I both saw him as clear as day.
Well, you're the one that testified everything, so... Well, this is extremely compelling testimony, I must say.
Oh dear, this policeman and his wife are claiming to have positively identified Mr. Natsume at the scene.
Oh my god, I could not breathe there for a minute. Oh...
If their testimony is true, the alternative course of events that you established in the summation examination will be quashed.
It's death knell, in fact, because that alternative was never viable in the first place. What an unfortunate be chancing, and on your wedding anniversary too.
Oh, I know, but I still managed to go out for the evening with my man. I thank the Lord for that. Gosh, the life of a London Bobby sounds very hard indeed.
Indeed. Oh my god, that's the wrong voice. Oh no. Oh no. Indeed. However, this cross-examination will be over in minutes. You may well have time to rest this afternoon.
What do you mean by that?
My learned friend, the witnesses saw the face of the man fleeing the scene. They are testifying under oath that it was without doubt the accused, Mr. Nososeki Natsume. And one of these witnesses is a policeman, no less, so you appreciate the gravity of the situation, I'm sure. Except that the man's so tired, his wife has to do all the talking. Enough preamble. Counsel for the defense. Commence the cross-examination, please. Yes, my lord. Alright, so we need to get more details on this one. Absolutely. So let's press all 5 of these.
Hold it!
No time to change after work, you say? Are you also a member of the police, Mrs. Beat?
Oh no, sadly not. It's a job for strapping young men only. Women, children, and the elderly can't even apply.
Well, I think you can probably see why children and the elderly can't do the job, can't you?
I think Rolly looks ever so handsome in his uniform. It suits you down the ground, doesn't it, darling?
I'm starting to get a feeling with the tug there and how hard she's yanking him that her charming demeanor isn't exactly what I'm anticipating it to be. Huh? Well, I just finished my beat. Pat and I were heading back to the station. I was actually planning on getting changed there. Is he talking in his sleep? This is creepy.
Oh no, Rolly, I much prefer you in uniform. Sometimes I don't recognize you when I see you in plain clothes. Oh dear, that doesn't seem healthy. Kindly adhere to the point. You were going for a meal after you had finished your beat for the day, correct?
That's right, sir, yes. Although I was fit to drop, to be honest, after spending the whole day on my feet. But policing is my life, sir. As long as I'm the proud owner of this, I'll serve my city and my queen to the end.
What's that now?
My warrant card, sir. Proof that I'm a London copper. It has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to all us policemen of our sworn duty. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man. Sir, and for such a noble cause, I covered 20 miles in a single day without fail and without a grumble. Because I know that the plodding of my boots is all Londoners need to hear to feel safe and secure.
So fighting crime doesn't appear to come into it then.
But sir, just on that particular day, I was looking forward to celebrating my wedding anniversary. Mrs. Beat puts up with a lot by being married to a bobby like me. I want to show my dear wife how much I care.
I'm not voicing that.
Oh, what a charming couple. Their young love is such a joy to behold.
If a little over the top, perhaps.
And then, kindly describe what happened next.
Yo, can I get that fucking... Nope. I was hoping that I could get that in the court record, but they wouldn't give it to me. Oh boy. So we are pressing again. Two silhouettes.
That's right. They were coming towards us, walking up Briar Road in the opposite direction. There was a rather plump figure, followed by a scrawny, thin-looking man. That does sound exactly like the victim as pictured in this print, and like Mr. Natsume.
Yes, unfortunately it does. And you're certain that at that time there was nobody else nearby?
Oh yes, quite certain. It was dark, but there are streetlights on Briar Road, you see? There was nobody else around at all. Isn't that right, my darling?
Oh, what? Yes, that's right. Of course, there was a light fog on the ground. But Briar Road is dead straight and you can see a fairly long way down the pavement. And then there's the street lighting as well. I didn't see any other pedestrians.
Any other pedestrians, huh? Before sleep takes a firm hold, your answer, please. Mr. Beat, are you quite sure of what you just said?
Yes, sir! As a copper who spends all day, every day, keeping watch on the streets, I'd swear to it, sir! I'm as sure as my love for Patricia is true!
Nope, not doing that. They're still maintaining there was no one else around other than the victim and the attacker. It's starting to seem like that must be how it really happened.
It's beginning to seem like there's nowhere to run.
Well, that didn't stop Mr. Natsume, did it? He fled the scene all too convincingly. Thank you. I believe we have a reasonably clear idea of the situation just before the incident now. What happened in the crucial moments that followed? I think someone outside, since it's the Sunday before Labor Day, is having a party of some sort, because I hear some thumping of loud music.
Hold it!
So I hope that the microphone can't pick that up. Scattered something. What do you mean by that?
Oh well, I couldn't quite make out what it was at the time. But then when we got closer, we realized what it was. Didn't we, darling?
Well, yes, that's right. It was some old books. I see. Old books.
Yes, sir! The culprit had dropped a number of them all around where the victim lay on the pavement.
Indeed, as clearly pictured in this photographic print.
That rotten Japanese man did that when he did the deed.
Let's not forget that it remains to be established that the defendant was indeed the attacker.
But we saw him. It was the man in the dock without question, sir. The mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the top mouth, the snub nose, everything.
Snub nose? Any more insults you want to throw in?
That's right. He looked down at that poor defenseless woman with those terrifying, intense eyes, and then suddenly threw his books onto the pavement and ran away.
I see. This is tough. They seem as though they're telling the truth here. May I remind the court that this unambiguous testimony comes from a policeman and his wife. Now please, continue.
Yes, sir!
What if we find out that he's not actually a police officer, and he's just posing as one because he's been rejected from being a police officer? That would be kind of funny.
We ran straight over, of course, and then we went for help at a nearby police box.
Hold it!
Was it your husband who went to fetch help?
No, I went. I may not be a police officer myself, but I am the proud wife of one after all. Isn't that right, my darling? What? Yes, that's right. I asked Mrs. Beat to go. I was off duty by that point, but a Bobby's never truly off duty, of course, so I felt obliged to stay and guard the scene.
Very laudable, Mr. Beat. Preserving the scene of the crime is a task of considerable importance.
And that's why I sent Patricia, you see. I told her where to find the right police box.
Forgive my ignorance, but what do you mean exactly by the right police box?
Depends on a crime's location, you see, as to who deals with it. Where the woman was stabbed wasn't actually on my beat. So I told Patricia the way to get to the police box for the beat the incident fell under so she could go and report it. I ran there as quickly as I could and asked for help from the Bobby on duty. There is nothing more potent than a young couple in love working together, you know.
And thanks to your swift response, the case was quickly resolved. The actions of two model citizens.
Oh, please, you're making us blush, isn't he, darling?
Yes, sir. What Patricia said, sir.
Let's move on, shall we?
Hold it!
And the last one. But surely you wouldn't have been able to see his face by the light of the gas street lamps, would you?
We absolutely couldn't. Us Londoners have exceptional eyesight, I'll have you know.
Why are you being so violent with him? Right.
The light from the street lamps was more than enough. And my husband already told you that the fog was only light, didn't he?
Yes, and what of the fog?
We're famous for it across the globe, I believe. It's an absolute menace to those of us who have to live with it, of course.
Oh, it is. When it's thick, you can't even see the hand at the end of your own arm.
Yes, alright, I take your point. Now, could you stop shaking your husband about?
The constant fog makes your eyes very sharp, you see. That's why we can tell you for sure and certain that it was that little Japanese man we saw. Can't we, darling? What? Ah, yes, it was the accused and no mistake. The mustache, the hunched back, the cat-like eyes, the top mouth, the unmistakable set.
As far as this couple's testimony is concerned, there can't be any question. Soseki-san they saw running away from the scene of the crime. So that's it, is it? That's their entire testimony?
What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, I hate to admit it, but on hearing the testimony, it really does seem as though Mr. and Mrs. Beat saw what they say they saw. Mr. Natsume running away from the scene on Briar Road that day.
Yes, I feel the same.
So if that's true, where does it leave us?
The members of the jury are sure to call for a guilty verdict after this testimony.
Oh no! Then what do we do?
If Kazuma-sama were here...
What are you trying to say?
I think he would try to find a contradiction somewhere else within their testimony.
What do you mean, somewhere else?
Their statement about seeing Mr. Natsume is unequivocal. Calling that into question won't help. But if you could identify some other part of their testimony which appears to contradict the facts, you might be able to discredit them, to make the jury doubt if the pair's memory of the day is accurate.
Oh, right.
Put simply, we must focus on finding a discrepancy in these statements somewhere. If we don't, I'm afraid the trial may reach an early and unfavorable conclusion.
Ugh, why do I always seem to be so up against it? Uh-oh.
Mr. Lawyer, sir, can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
Well, you keep asking us all these questions about everything we've told you, so... It seems like you don't believe our testimony. Is that right? Is it? Well, out with it.
What? No. Oh no, it's really not that at all.
My husband's a policeman, remember? And I know what I saw. I remember every last detail. Everything. Like... Oh, I know. What about the books the man dropped? I could tell you the names of every single one I could. Every single one. And you dare to question how reliable my testimony is.
That will do, Miss Beat.
No, it won't do at all. That Japanese lawyer has no idea what I'm capable of. Even if I decide to forgive him for insulting us, don't think for a minute that Rolly will.
I really didn't mean to cause offense. Please put your husband's fist down.
Perhaps you would like the opportunity to supplement your testimony, Mrs. Beat? Might that appease you?
Oh, thank you, my lord. That would settle things nicely.
So, you're gonna give us the names of the books, are you?
Wouldn't it, darling?
Hold it!
Right. Thank you for that. Yes, we know that there were books dropped at the scene of the crime, as you say. Wait a minute, did she say 4 books? God damn it, that was it right there. I didn't even need to press this. Because there were only 3 books that he had. those purchased by the accused at the nearby secondhand bookshop on the day in question.
After I'd been to the police box for help, I decided to have a good look over the area for measure. For good measure. I am a proud policeman's wife, after all. I did it for Rolly.
And what was your husband doing at the time?
Oh, he was lying face down in the snow, getting some well-deserved rest. What?
So basically, you did everything, and he was passed out in the snow. Woke up, ate another popsicle.
He works ever so hard, you know. Ever so hard. Don't you, my darling?
Interesting way of guarding the scene of the crime. Well, Mrs. Beat, seeing as you've regaled the court with tales of your powers of recollection, would you be so kind as to recount the titles of the books you've observed at the scene?
I'd be happy to. Now, are you all listening? There was The Picture of Monsieur Somebody or Other, and What's It Yearnings? Then there was, A Meal for Someone, and the last one was definitely The Thingamy Something.
No, I don't see. Does any of that match whatever the fuck he had? A Meal for Gaborio, The Picture of Monsieur Lecoq, and Canterbury Yearnings. So the one that you added in there was... The Thingamies. Yes, I see there are 1 or 2 holes in your memory.
Oh, well, they were along those lines, I'm quite sure.
There were indeed books found at the scene with titles along those lines, as you put it.
Well, what did I tell you? So I think that it's very mean the way you've been implying that my testimony can't be trusted. Don't you agree, darling?
Holy shit! Put that fucking shit away.
Anyone who upsets my Patricia will have me to answer to.
Terrifying. I agree. Yes, she really is. Okay, we're gonna skip through this real quick. Alright, so now that we've pressed all that, this episode's nearing the end of it. Well, this episode's not nearing the end of anything. It's what I meant to say was this episode's getting rather long. It's at 38 minutes now. So I'm going to end this one off right here. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like the video, share it with whoever the hell you want to. Whatever you want to do that can help the channel grow, because that's exactly what I'm looking for here. Playing these games, it's a fun time for everyone. I want to share it with more people. So once again, thank you all for watching for this mini episode. I think this is number 33 at this point, so yeah, absolutely incredible. And I will absolutely look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, where we present this piece of evidence and kind of get this case back towards our side. So yeah, see you guys then.